Hey bros! So as some of you may know, on this day, in December 6th, 1919, Beta Psi was chartered. So today we get to celebrate 100 years of brotherhood. So you may be wondering, what does 100 years of brotherhood look like? Well, we have bros from different decades to kind of share their experiences with you today. I'm honored to be able to represent the decade of 2010 as I pledged Beta Psi in the fall of 2012. Some of my greatest memories from Beta Psi come from when I was able to live in the house for 2 years. It really helped to strengthen my brotherhood with a lot of the brothers. And today I can say that I still get to vacation with some of them every year. And it seems like every year we add at least one or two brothers to those vacations. So it's just been a fantastic way that I made lifelong friends who really became more like family to me. One of my greatest memories from Beta Psi was probably following my year that I was regent. We went to my first GCC out in Denver, Colorado, and that summer it was really special for Beta Psi because we finally were starting to win some awards. The first award we had was for our outstanding GCD Lori. We also had our first two national scholarship winners, myself and Zach Miller. And then as a chapter, we were able to be named the 8th best chapter in the nation, which became Beta Psi's highest ranking place in our history. So that was just something that was really special for me to be able to experience, especially following my regency in Beta Psi. And so, like I said, it was just a wonderful experience to be able to attend my first GCC and have all those experiences as a chapter. And it wasn't just about winning, but it was about trying to set a precedence for the future that, there's no reason that Beta Psi can't have more scholarship winners, which I think they've had at least one since that time. It was just more or less trying to set up what could happen in the future and what, they can continue to strive for and hopefully continue to have scholarship winners to be one of the top chapters. And so I look forward to continue to stay involved in Beta Psi for many years to come, and I look forward to seeing what the chapter can do in a whole.
I pledged Kappa Psi in the spring of 2003, which was the semester before I started pharmacy school. Showing up at that first meeting was very intimidating. I was terrified, but everybody was so welcoming to me, and I could tell that there was a major sense of belonging and community in that house. And I knew right away that I wanted to be a part of that. And I knew that joining Kappa Psi was the right decision for me. I went on to hold several leadership roles within Beta Psi, including regent and vice regent. And being a leader within an organization like that really helped pave the way to help me develop my time management skills and organizational skills that has allowed me to advance my career farther than I could have ever imagined. Being part of Kappa Psi has been life-changing for me. Many of my really good friends today are in my life because of Kappa Psi. And I am honored to be part of this amazing milestone in history. Congratulations, Beta Psi, on the Centennial.
I pledged Beta Psi as a pre-pharmacy student. I was just 19 years old. I was really quiet and shy, and the thought of interviewing all the active brothers was really just terrifying to me. I fell way behind my pledge brothers, and they ended up just dragging me from brother to brother to introduce me and help me get to know them. They just really took care of me. That's how my Kappa Psi life started. Then years later, 2 years later I guess, when I became vice regent of the chapter, I remember feeling nervous again for that first meeting. The meetings were at the Kappa Psi house in the chapter room, which was our living room with the fireplace and couches and cushy chairs, and everyone was just snuggling each other like we always did at those meetings. I was sitting at the front table with three of my best friends, and it really was a safe and supportive place to learn how to lead. So that really did kick off my life as a team leader, my Kappa Psi life, my regular life, my pharmacy life. That's how it all started. Now I really have no problems leading a meeting or leading a group or a team, voicing my opinion, which I do plenty of time, often. It's just Kappa Psi has been part of my life, Beta Psi has been part of my life for, I don't want to do the math, over 25 years. So over half my life, Beta Psi has been part of me, and it's an honor that I've been part of Beta Psi for a quarter of our Centennial.
Hi there. I pledged Beta Psi in my second semester of pharmacy school. Lucky for me, they had spring rush back then. At that point, I already had a lot of new pharmacy school friends, but I didn't feel connected. One of those friends, Ed, dragged me to the informal rush, and I decided to pledge. Seeing the brothers hang out together at the house on Lake Street, studying, partying, even hurrying home after class to watch Little House on the Prairie, made me want to be part of Beta Psi. Pledging was challenging because the actives and recent grads constantly made me come to the house and help with many activities. Walking down State Street through a blizzard to deliver euros to the brothers was a good one. 29 years later, I'm lucky to see some of those brothers at football games, and many were at the Beta Psi Centennial. Beta Psi gave me the chance to visit chapters at Purdue, Ferris State, St. Louis, UIC, and Butler as a student. At the GCC in Jackson Hole, they gave us the ski lodge because the party in the UOP suite was too loud. We made an annual hockey trip to St. Paul and had season tickets to football and hockey games together for many years. In the early 2000s, fewer people were living in the Beta Psi house. The pharmacy school had moved to its current location on the other end of campus. The old house on Lake Street had high maintenance costs, and we had to make the sad decision to sell the old house and move. It was like losing an old friend. Since then, homecomings at the new house on Chestnut Street have made me realize that the old house was not the source of those fond memories. It was the people who were there with me. It's an honor to be asked to do this video for Beta Psi, and I'm looking forward to the next 100 years. Thanks.
Get my brown hair, not my gray hair.
I'm delighted to speak a little bit about Kappa Psi life in the 60s. I came to Wisconsin in the fall of 1964. All I knew is that I wanted to major in chemistry of some kind, and I wasn't really quite sure what direction I wanted to go in. But in the spring of 1965, second semester of my freshman year, a friend of mine across the hall in the dorm invited me to go with him to what was then called a smoker. It was a rush function where all of the guys that wanted to join a fraternity would go to the fraternity house, have a little beer to drink, eat some pretzels, talk about sports and everything else that comes to mind. And then they would decide whether or not they would want to invite you to join the fraternity or not. And everybody would wait anxiously for that invitation. A couple of days later, a young fella came to my dorm room, knocked on the door, and gave me an invitation to join Kappa Psi Pharmaceutical Fraternity in a certain night at a certain time, and asked me if I would consider joining the pledge class. And I said, I really met a lot of nice guys, very professional people, very smart people. I had a good time. They were all pleasant. I enjoyed the fraternity house quite a bit. But I said, I can't do that. I'm not majoring in pharmacy and some type of chemistry probably. And he said, oh, that's all right. That's not a real big problem. You can change into pharmacy. None of your courses will really change anyway. And we've got a few brothers that are not pharmacists, and they're very active members of the fraternity. He said, meet me down at North Hall at 10 o'clock. tomorrow morning we'll switch you into pharmacy, and then you can join Kappa Psi. So anyway, the truth is, I changed my major to pharmacy to join Beta Psi chapter of Kappa Psi. And anyway, there was a big moment, because without Kappa Psi, I would have never become a pharmacist. And of course, I'm very satisfied with the career path I've chosen. I'm a lucky man. I've enjoyed going to work every day. Work was never a drudgery to me, and I've worked in a few different aspects of pharmacy in my career. So by and large, Beta Psi chapter of Kappa Psi gave me my profession, gave me a lifelong job that I really liked, gave me lifelong friends, people that I still stay in touch with, and enjoy their companionship, their advice and counsel and friendship over the years. Besides that, it gave me some of the most memorable years of my life. In fact, I know quite literally joining Beta Psi chapter was an opportunity of a lifetime, and fortunately I took it. And I bet there are many other brothers who feel the exact same way that I do.
Greetings and congratulations to the brothers of my adopted chapter Beta Psi on achieving this milestone of the Centennial anniversary for the founding of the chapter. I am humbled to have been invited to represent the 1950s with respect to my interactions with Beta Psi, having come from Beta Epsilon in Rhode Island. When my then pregnant wife and I came to Madison in time for the fall semester of 1959, we knew nobody, actually, with the exception of a couple of people we met on Memorial Day weekend when we went to a student party in Vilas Park that was overseen by Dean Ewell, and of course we met my major professor, Bob Hamill, both of them being Kappa Psi brothers. We arrived in September, were the first occupants of 603D Eagle Heights Apartments, and I became a TA in Dr. Dale Worster's dispensing lab, not realizing at the time he was a former Grand Officer of Kappa Psi. My graduate student office was adjacent to the continuing education office in the pharmacy building, which was run by Dick Stroman, another former Kappa Psi Grand Officer. On one of my very first days as a TA in the lab, one of the students, a brother of Beta Psi, noticed my class ring and Kappa Psi letters. We introduced each other as brothers, and the next question he asked was, "Are you married?" And this caught me off guard. I didn't understand exactly what was going on, but as it turned out, he was soliciting for possible chaperones for parties at the Beta Psi house, because at that time they had to have married couples as chaperones. So as it turned out, we and John McCarthy, Beta Delta initiate from Albany, and his wife Ann, and Mary and I did a lot of chaperoning of parties, which was pretty nice, cheap entertainment for graduate students with little money. That welcome into the bosom of Beta Psi really taught me about the 99 hands and reaching out to help each other, something for which I will always be grateful. And one message I have to all the brothers: never underestimate what an impact you can have on somebody else. Once again, congratulations on this milestone. And thank you.